On this episode of Game Shaq, Arcade1up has just announced the XL series with their NBA Jam Shaq edition. And I'm going to tell you guys why I think this might be the biggest news for retro arcade gaming in 2022. Coming up next. Hey everybody, welcome on back into the Game Shack, the world's smallest and still coldest arcade. I am your host for Evil Genius Entertainment, JDV. Thanks for stopping on by. Okay, so the Super Bowl just passed and the expected announcement of Arcade1up's NFL Blitz fell by the wayside for yet another Super Bowl. But we got news that I think is even more important than that. And that news is the so-called XL edition of the NBA Jam game, which now features a little, I guess, Shaq silhouette on the side of the game. Now, this game is important for a lot of reasons. Let's start off with the most obvious, I guess, and that it's tall. It's almost 6 feet tall. One of the tallest games that Arcade1up has put out, maybe the tallest game that they put out. It weighs in, I think, at 99 pounds, the shipping weight, or 100 pounds. So it's one of the heaviest builds that they've put out now. Of course, that's not what's most important about it, that it weighs 100 pounds. But what is cool about it are the design changes in the game. And there are three really major ones that I can see. First of all, and maybe most importantly, we are seeing, again, indications that Arcade1up is moving off of that 17-inch screen that they have been firmly placed on for the last 4 years and moving up to the much bigger 19-inch screen. While you don't think that 2 inches makes a whole lot of difference in a game like this, it really does, particularly for horizontal games like NBA Jam, like Street Fighter, really any kind of side-scrolling beat 'em up really should have a 19-inch screen in it, and this game does. I've been clamoring for a larger screen size for quite some time. Again, I do think that the 17-inch screen size is almost really perfect for vertical games like Pac-Man, Galaga, Galaxy, and things like that, but it really is not enough for two-player games really of any kind, particularly horizontal, any horizontal game really, or shooting games. So this is really good news that we're seeing this come out for a non-pro line type game. Now I went over to their website and I don't see any specific branding of the XL cab, although I think that is already kind of what people are going to be calling it, and maybe Arcade1up down the line. Right off the bat, if you haven't seen B Kong's video on this, you should go check it out over there. He does a very nice little comparison of the original NBA Jam game and this new one. And besides that 19-inch screen, the biggest thing I think people would see right off the bat is that just how tall it is. It is almost 6 foot tall, and it reaches that height not because of extra size risers or anything that I can see, but it's all one piece. So you'll have one almost 6 foot left side and one almost 6 foot tall right side of the game. And of course, because it's a little wider to accommodate that screen, it just is a bigger, almost legit looking arcade game, and that is helped mightily by the third new design feature on it, which is a giant marquee. I mean, come on, that thing looks incredible. Not only are the colors way more vibrant, pop a whole lot more, of course it's like twice the size of the original NBA Jam marquee. All right, so when you look at all of those design changes, the bigger screen, the taller form factor, the elimination of the riser and just the use of one piece for each side, and you talk about that bigger, brighter marquee, and those are all things that people have been asking for a long time from Arcade1up. This new game is going to be retro, able to play original NBA Jam games. So if you have, one player with the original and one player with the new, they will still be able to play each other. So that's super cool. And one of the things that I don't think gets mentioned enough about Arcade1up is the fact that their online Wi-Fi service is free, and that free aspect does differentiate it from its main competitor in the space, which is AtGames ALU. Yes, you can go online to play games, but you can't really play anybody else and you have to pay a monthly subscription fee to do it. So that's kind of like a double plus good in terms of the abilities of the live play of any of the Arcade1up machines. And there's one other aspect about this NBA Jam XL game, and that is reported, BCong reported that seeing this on an ESPN website or an ESPN report, that this game will supposedly retail for, I believe, $5.99. That $5.99 sure does look a lot better than $700 or $1,000, doesn't it? So it is reasonably priced. It's not great price, but it's not a horrible price, particularly when you are seeing the innovations that we see in the product. So what does this mean going forward in terms of going down the line? Well, I think it means a few things. I think that Arcade1up hasn't said this publicly, but I think it's starting to become more and more clear that you're going to see three basic types of games coming out of Arcade1up going forward. One, you're going to have those legacy games. Past the legacy games, I think the next step up hopefully will be the XL series of games. So we won't have the riser, we'll have the bigger screen, but we won't necessarily have sand wall controllers. We won't necessarily have 3D printed coin doors. And I would suspect that the third tier, the pro tier, will see the same thing, where we won't see risers for those games either. You will see, I guess, an improvement in terms of joysticks, maybe the printed coin door that lights up versus either the plain coin door or the stickers for the Legacy / XL series. So I think this is a big deal, I really do. And I hope that Arcade1up does keep the Legacy lineup going, because I think that is absolutely a viable and perfectly good for the hobbyist and for the very casual buyer. I think this XL series, same thing. For, you know, if it's the one game you want to have, wouldn't you want to have it in that larger form factor / bigger screen? And then you save the pro version for real true diehards who are either diehard hobbyists or really love that particular game. So let me know what you guys think about that $5.99 price tag. Is that a decent price for the things that we're getting out of here? You know, licensed cab, almost 6 foot tall, no riser, Wi-Fi included, and of course that 19-inch screen. To me, I think that's a pretty legit deal. Well, let me know down below what you guys think. Okay, so that's gonna wrap up this episode. If you liked it, please give me a thumbs up on the way out the door. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so. If you like our narrative work, we will be having more zombie videos coming out soon and some other announcements for what we're shooting over the summer. All of that should be coming down pretty soon. Love each other, and until next time, I'll see you guys in the Game Shack. Mwah! Be sure to visit evilgeniusentertainment.com for exclusive content, swag, casting call news, and much, much more.